It's such a beautiful summer day. Everything is so green and fresh. I love to look for wildflowers. And today I see many different varieties of purple wildflowers, and some even got caught in my hair. I've been learning about herbs and flowers and what we might call weeds. They're actually not weeds. Everything growing has a purpose and a benefit to mankind. I love growing my own herbs right beside my window on my table. So this is thyme. I'm picking rosemary and thyme, and we're going to make some fresh bread with olive oil, herbs, organic flour, no sugar, and just a little sea salt. Actually, it's Himalayan salt. Yeah, Himalayan salt and dry active yeast. So this is the thyme, and you can see I have some rosemary here, and since it's fresh, it is very potent, so you only need a little. And as soon as I pick a little bit more, we are going to chop it up a little bit and add it to our flour mixture. I'm using 2 cups of very warm water, not too hot, 1 tablespoon of Himalayan salt, 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast, and you're going to mix that together until it's all dissolved as well as it can dissolve. And then we're going to actually use 4 cups of organic flour and about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm just mixing this up very well. No kneading required. And then I'm just going to let it sit for 2 hours with the lid on top. And I'm going to leave the lid just cracked a tiny bit for air. While this dough is setting, we're going to go out for a walk in my backyard. It is so beautiful. Just look at this view, you guys. It is so beautiful. I am so blessed to be living out here in the prairies. It's amazing. Kicking your shoes off and walking on the ground can help you get connected to the earth and give you energy. You should also get at least 20 minutes of sunshine so that your body can absorb the vitamin D that it needs to stay healthy, especially during these times. A year and a half ago, I decided to change my life. So I left my 9-to-5 job. I left my overpriced car payment, my high rent, working to pay for a roof over my head and the transportation to go back and forth, gasoline and fast food. I left it all behind. I said goodbye, turned in my keys, gave my notice, left my 6-figure job, and off I went to live in the prairies, and I could not be happier. I'm no longer a slave to the system. I live my own life the way I want to live it, and I'm connected to nature and happy and healthy. There are many different berries, flowers, herbs, and trees around, and we really should learn what it is we have around us because we can utilize it for medicine and food. These are buffalo berries. I love this place, you guys. I come out here all the time. So gorgeous. I like to read out here too. It's getting hot. I need to go check on my bread. Instead of using parchment paper, you can use a rougher textured grain such as cornmeal. This right here is a blue cornmeal, and I just sprinkle it very sparingly on the bottom of whatever pan I'm using to bake my bread, and it never sticks, it just comes right out. After 2 hours, you want to sprinkle a little bit of flour on the top, punch it down, and then shape it. And then you're going to want to put it in the pan that you sprinkled your corn flour on and let it sit for another 40 minutes. At the end of 40 minutes, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 450 degrees, and then you're going to put it in the oven to bake for approximately 26 to 30 minutes. When I was growing up, I didn't learn how to make bread. I didn't learn about nutrition or healthy foods or anything about herbs or trees or anything like that. I had to teach myself at this older age. And unfortunately for my children, they were brought up the same way I was, so they did not learn these skills. I'm doing them now. It's too late for my children because they've grown. I try to encourage them to do these things. The oldest one has been into health a lot, so she does a lot of her own cooking and she's really into organics, but the other two, they don't really understand the health benefits and the benefits it has on your brain and the longevity of your life. When I realized the garbage that was put into our food and our breads, I stopped and I changed my life. I try to stay off of electronics as much as possible. This is a Bible that my grandfather left to me when he passed away. It was the one thing that I inherited from my grandfather. So I cherish this Bible and I read it daily. I keep this picture of my grandfather from his memorial as my bookmarker as I read through the Bible. I think that grandparents hold a very special place in the hearts of their grandchildren. They don't have the same relationship or the same memories as their parents did. So they can have a clear, clean, unconditional love type of relationship with their grandparents. It's hard to grow up as a child and not get scathed and wounded. It's hard for parents to understand what a child really needs. Most parents do the best they can, and they try to give their children the things that they never had, and they try not to give their children the things that were harmful to them. But each child, when they're grown, always has some type of complaint. Some wound, some scar, something that makes them feel angry or guilty or sad. And it's really a shame. We need to learn how to forgive. Not so much forgiving the thing that hurt you, but forgiving the person as being a flawed human being. Because we all are. We all can just do the best we can with what we've got. And when you forgive someone, you free yourself. You free yourself of anger and pain. So if you're struggling with that, try to forgive. And try to foster a good relationship between children and their grandparents, because they need that. It's very important, and if it's cut off, it hurts the child forever. Our bread is done, and it's absolutely beautiful. You can just smell that olive oil, fresh rosemary, and thyme. I think you'll love this bread recipe. You'll probably love it so much you'll never use another one again. This will be your very favorite bread recipe, and it's so simple. And it has no sugar, and you don't need to knead it. You don't have to add rosemary and thyme. You can leave it plain with just olive oil. Or you can add some other things like onion soup and make a nice onion bread. Enjoy! Thank you for going on this walk with me. I'll see you next week. Love and light.